Hello, I'm Farnaz Jahanbakhsh, and I'll be presenting the paper Leveraging Structured Trusted Peer Assessments to Combat Misinformation. I worked on this paper together with Professors Amy Zhang and David Karger. Our work explores how social media platforms can be modified to provide users with more support for distinguishing accurate from inaccurate information. We propose and test design affordances that can help realize this goal. Our work is motivated by how social media users invest their own effort to detect misinformation on social media, but that their efforts aren't supported by the platforms and sometimes even undermined by them. Imagine this. A user comes across a post on social media and knows that it is misleading. What can they do? Well, they can maybe react to it with an angry emoji, or even post a comment that refutes the post. And in either case, the platform will consider the user's interaction with the post as a sign of engagement, thinking that the post is worth surfacing to more people, which will end up having the opposite effect of what the user intended. Instead of having an ambiguous human language comment or reaction that could be misinterpreted by the platform as well as other users, wouldn't it be better if the user in this example could mark the post as inaccurate explicitly, similar to how posts are liked? And once an assessment is captured in structured form, then it can also be displayed on posts in structured form, distinct from likes and other signals of engagement. This brings us to the first design affordance that we propose, to allow users to assess the accuracy of posts and capture those assessments as part of the data model. Once all users are given the ability to assess, whose assessments should an individual pay attention to when they want to decide what content is credible? One idea is to show to a user assessments from all those that the user follows or is friends with on social media. But a user may choose to follow or be friends with others that they don't actually trust when it comes to assessing information accuracy. This brings us to the second design affordance that we propose, to enable users to specify which other sources and other users they trust to assess posts. Now, if we allow for capturing accuracy assessments and trust relationships into the platform's data model, then we have an additional opportunity to give users a filter that they can use to filter the posts in their feed based on how the posts have been assessed by their trusted sources. Then the user can use this filter, for instance, to block content assessed as misinformation from their feed. And this is the idea behind the third design affordance that we propose. Give users filters that users can configure to block from their feeds posts assessed as inaccurate by other users that they trust. To understand if these ideas and affordances could help users, we designed two studies. The purpose of the first study was to understand whether there are actually needs for the affordances that we were envisioning. We evaluated that by asking more than 190 people about their current practices with reading and sharing online content through a survey. Here, I'll give an overview of the results, but you can read about them in full in our paper. We found that many people come across information that they know to be false, at least occasionally. Sometimes this happens because they intentionally follow sources that they consider unreliable. For example, because they just want to be aware of what the other side is saying. We found the majority of users attempt to correct the misinformation they encounter on social media. For example, by reporting the misinforming post to platforms or by sharing an inaccurate post to warn their social circle about it. But because sharing is also often viewed as a sign of endorsement, some other users refrain from sharing misinformation even if it's to warn the others. Many users said that their friends and family rely on them to assess information that they find online. And many said that they ask for the assessments of their friends or rely on their friends to correct them should they ever post inaccuracies. We also found that many users invest effort in curating a feed of reliable content on social media, for example, by trying to train the feed curation algorithm. In the same survey, we asked users to imagine a filter that would block out misinformation from their feed, and asked if they would use such a filter and their ideas for improving it. Many users interpreted this filter as one that would be managed by the platforms and were vehemently opposed to ceding the power of content moderation to platforms. Some said that the filter that automatically blocked content would always carry the biases of its designers, and they did not necessarily trust the designers of such a filter. Users also discussed that there were benefits to seeing unreliable content. For example, so that they can be aware of what misinformation their family and friends are exposed to so they can know how to talk to them. But those who imagined that this would be a filter that they could control liked the idea and had ideas for such a filter. For example, they asked that the unreliable content be flagged as such, but be kept in their feed. So in summary, the survey revealed that there is indeed a need for the affordances that we were envisioning, and for streamlining the practices around seeking and providing fact-checking information that users are already doing on social media. Next, we wanted to understand how users would interact with these affordances if given the chance. So we built a social content sharing platform that we call TrustNet, that is Facebook-like, and that incorporates the user affordances described earlier. On this platform, users can follow each other and can post and share content. By following someone, you'll be able to see what they post or share. But one of the things that is different on this platform compared to the existing social media is that users can assess any post as accurate or inaccurate, or can ask about the post's accuracy. And these assessments and questions are captured and displayed in a structured way. Also, users can explicitly mark which other users they find trustworthy. Here, you can see the feed of posts on this platform as is presented to a user. Each post appears with indicators of how it was assessed by those that the user trusts or follows. For example, all of these stories have been assessed as accurate by some, but as inaccurate by others. The user can also choose to expand the assessments and see the reasoning of these sources in support of their assessments. The platform also provides a filter that users can use to narrow down the posts in their feed. The filtering allows users to configure two things among others: what kind of accuracy assessment has been given to a post and by whom. So, for example, a user can choose to see only those posts that have been confirmed as accurate by the people that they trust, or only those on which there is a disagreement by specific users. As mentioned, users can assess any post as accurate or inaccurate. They can also ask about the accuracy of a post, either anonymously or by disclosing their name. A question about the accuracy of a post is surfaced to the user's trusted sources by default. They get a notification about it, and once they assess the post, the user is notified of the response. These assessments have the added benefit that others who come across the post will see them if they trust or follow the assessors, so there won't be the need for duplicated effort. Another decision we made on the platform was to require users to assess content or else ask about its accuracy before the platform allows them to share it. This decision was tied to our earlier work, where we found that requiring users to assess content before sharing reduces their likelihood to share misinformation. We wanted to see how users would interact with the platform and how they would perceive the affordances. So we ran a user study with 14 participants who joined the study with at least one person from their social circle, like a friend or a family member. We found that our users actually valued the affordances that the TrustNet platform offered, such as the trust-based feeds, the ability to assess or ask about content accuracy, and having filters to find different posts depending on how they were assessed. We found that different users used different filter settings. Some people set it such that they would only see the posts confirmed as accurate by their trusted sources. Some people chose to have everything in their feed but still appreciated having the accuracy indicators on all the posts. And some sought out debated posts, those their trusted sources disagreed on. The user study also revealed the need for enhancing the assessment functionality to cover a variety of complications, such as statements that are true but nonetheless misleading, slant of posts, or a mismatch between content and headline. In our paper, we offered design recommendations for platforms and researchers based on all these findings. I invite you to check out our paper and also to try out the TrustNet platform. Also, absolutely reach out to us if you're interested in collaborating with us on this project.